Hello everyone, it's Tuesday. We're picking up in this new short little series that I'm calling Stories from Twitter. A friend of mine on Twitter, Michelle Hallowell, tweeted out a few weeks ago, "Someone give me a topic and a feeling, then I will write a one-page story by hand." I took that idea, made it my own, and now I'm going to read you the second story in this little series that I started yesterday. If you're watching this out of order, you can go and watch yesterday's video. I'll link it up here in the card if you want to go look at that. Today's story is called The Sad Wedding. And I gotta say, as I was writing this, I was tearing up a bit. This is for me, it's kind of a sad story. All right, so here we go. You could feel the tension hanging in the air. The anticipation of not knowing what could happen brought anxiety to the small group gathered in the waiting room. Some were sitting, engrossed in their pocket computers, tuning out the world around them. Some were up and moving, nervously looking to the clock mounted behind the receptionist desk, its second hand slowly pushing time forward. And also some others were gazing at the world through the rain-streaked window, the sprawling city several floors below them. The ping of an elevator bell turned everyone's attention to the man in black clerics approaching the group. He was carrying a book in one hand. One man took the front, welcoming him. "Thank you for being here, Father." The man greeted him with a firm handshake. Father smiled at him. "Do we have much time?" he questioned. A woman joined the man and said there was no guarantee, but we would need to work quickly. "Where is Harriet?" Father asked. "She is getting ready. She will meet us there," the man answered. "We can all head down to his room now." "By all means," Father answered, and the group adjourned from the waiting room down a hallway lined with various carts of medical supplies. A nurse wearing a mask passed the group just before they arrived at his room, a rather medium-sized quarters with a walk-in bathroom and a window overlooking the city below. Two people were sitting in chairs along the wall by the window. They were intently looking at the young man lying in the bed, cords and tubes running to and from his body. The first man to speak knocked on the door. "Father's here," he said softly. The couple inside the room was quick to welcome him, as the remaining people spread throughout the room as comfortably as possible. Father moved toward the bedside of the young man, placing a hand on his arm. He opened his eyes and smiled, nodding his head and attempting to say, "You already gave me last rites." Father chuckled and held the book he had been carrying up to the man's face. Through a groggy gaze, the man read the title of the book in a low, garbled mumble, "The Order of Celebrating Matrimony." "Where is Harriet?" the man who had been in the room previously asked. "Getting ready," the other man responded. He was at the door looking anxiously for his daughter. The seconds felt like minutes as his gaze moved from the hallway to the room. Father kept the young man in conversation as Harriet appeared at the end of the hallway, a look of great relief filling her father's face as he met her halfway. "Are they ready?" she asked. Her father paused to look at his daughter, beautifully adorned in her simplified wedding gown. He smiled and then embraced her, holding back tears. "I'm not sure how long we have," he explained as he took her arm in his and led her down to the room. Upon entering, everyone stood up except the man in the bed. Father donned a white stole and opened the book as Harriet's father led her to the side of the bed. "You look beautiful," the man in the bed said to his fiancée. Holding back tears, she thanked him and took his closest hand as Father began the sacrament. When it came time for the rings, one of the younger guys standing near the door passed them over to Father, who blessed them and handed them to the respective person. Father instructed each of them to repeat after him as he said the words while placing the ring on the person's finger. The man in the bed went first, saying in a barely audible mumble, "Harriet, receive this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." He coughed toward the end of the phrase, but recovered quickly. Harriet went next. "Felix, receive this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." Father paused, said a blessing over them, and then welcomed the new couple to the respective families. There was minimal applause before some hugs were exchanged between the families of the betrothed. Harriet couldn't look away from her husband, and through the myriad of his medical equipment, she leaned over the bed rail and kissed him. Hours later, after Father had gone, the immediate families remained in the room with Harriet and her newlywed husband. She lay in a chair next to his bedside, gently caressing the knuckles of his left hand. The family had just completed a recitation of the rosary together. Afterward, he turned to Harriet and quietly said to her, "You have made me the happiest I've ever been." "You know that's true for me too," she responded. "I'm sorry it wasn't the way you wanted it." Her voice grew unsteady. "What matters is that I love you, and I will always, even when we aren't together, love you." He coughed again, quite violently this time, but managed to recover. "How did I ever get so lucky?" he asked. "God willed it," Harriet answered. He smiled after she said that, though this smile seemed different than normal. He turned his head to the side, away from Harriet, and closed his eyes one last time, the smile still on his face. "You will always be with me," Harriet said, allowing the tears now to roll down her face, her parents and his parents now at her side, comforting her as her newlywed husband made his journey home. Yeah, sad, I know, but that was the suggestion. So I'm sorry that it's sad, and I'm sorry that we're ending on a sad note. Tomorrow's is going to be even weirder. So I hope you enjoyed this little short story of a sad wedding. There'll be one more of these this week, tomorrow. It will be interesting, not to say the least. It's actually based on an actual person. So maybe he'll watch it. Anyway, so that's all for today. Take care. God bless. See you tomorrow.